Well, here we are back on the workbench. About time too. I've had a bit of a hiatus for a month because of what YouTubers call RL stuff, and I've had to dust off all my projects and kind of remind myself what I was doing. So what I'm about to show you, the various projects that I've assembled here, are going to be this month's work basically. And what I want to start with is one of the ones that's been laying dormant the longest, which is my little Engage model railway Japanese garage and convenience store. And this one goes way back now. And the reason there's been kind of a long pause, in doing any model railway stuff is really down to space, of all things. Now, I do not have a permanent model railway space in the house. What I've been doing is doing any of my model railway stuff in temporary areas, like the kitchen table, for example, or I've bought myself a little trestle table which I can set up in my man cave. But because of stuff in the house just getting so chock full of junk, as our house does, especially my man cave. My man cave has become this random storage area for anything that we don't want in any other part of the house. It gets shoved up to my man cave, and the downside of that is that sooner or later I just ran out of space to even set up my temporary layout, and that's why there's been a big long pause in me doing model railway stuff. But I'm hoping to kind of rectify that a bit. I've done a bit of clearing out. I won't show you the man cave because it's still embarrassingly chock full of rubbish, but I've made some progress on clearing it out, so I'm hoping to get my temporary layout table back up again soon. So I thought I'd get back into this where I was with my modelling, and that was that I was starting to make some of the buildings for my layout, including this little piece, the garage. I was quite pleased with this. It's my first go really of a large scale diorama for the Engage layout, but it's incomplete. Where I was starting to work on bits and pieces to fill this backyard area of the garage. I'd already done a little bit of weathering here, and I started collecting bits and pieces to put into the backyard. But the other thing that I was wanting to work on here, which you can just about make out that I'd started penciling in some of the parking spaces. I want to decorate the forecourt here with some of the road lines. Now, I'm not familiar with Japanese roads and lines and how they direct traffic and things like that. I think I did a little bit of research at the time, but I'm going to have to remind myself by doing a bit of Googling. Basically I want the in section of the garage over here, the traffic coming in, going through the garage and coming out here. So I want to paint in some lines. Once I've got all the lines and the ornamentation put on to the base, then I can attach the forecourt island at the front here. Sorry, turn it over like this so you can see it. Glue that down there. Now, just as a bit of a reminder, just to conclude this little bit section, I have kind of like future-proofed this particular model because it's a temporary item for display on my temporary layout. I'm not wiring up any electricals, but I do foresee that in the future I will probably want to do that. So I've made some little holes in the base here, so I can actually do some wiring eventually. And these interiors, that's the garage interior that's in here, and the convenience store interior. You can see the shelving and just about make out the shelving and things inside the shop. These can be removed so that I can actually wire up some lighting inside the shop. And the last thing, which I need to look into as well, I need to do a bit of research about this, is poles, lighting poles, electricity poles, because I know the Japanese, rather like the Americans, a lot of their electrical devices are chain linked via overhead electrical cables. So they do have a lot of poles, either lighting poles or these electrical poles. I haven't even thought about that yet, so I'm going to have to look into that as well. So the next little job will be to start popping in a lot of these little accessories, which you can see I've already started painting. I'm really pleased with some of these. Just simple dry brushing and staining, and they came out quite well. I like this little pile of wooden pallets. This will be going in the junkyard of the garage, and that'll be the next job. So that, and of course working out the lining of the roads here. So there we go. That's my little Engage Japanese garage model, scratch built. Still rather pleased with it. I mean, as good as I'm going to get. I think I made a reasonable job of it. So I'm looking forward to working on this a bit more. Right, to the next project for this month, and that will be my Age of Sigmar Orruk Ardboy models, the little miniature figures for Warhammer. This was a present from my wife. It's a little bit different to the sort of things that I have been doing or done before, and I must admit it has caused me a little bit of worry because my problem with my hands and the problems I've been having trying to do detailed painting. So this kind of went on the back burner where I decided how I was going to approach this. And really it has caused me some consternation because it is a present from my wife. I want to make such a good job of it, but I was really quite frightened because of just how bad I am at painting these days. I mean, they're beautifully sculpted and molded in plastic here, and there's a horrendous amount of detail on them. So I've been doing some at least some research into how to paint these type of models. Found quite a lot of videos on YouTube while I've been unable to do anything else at the moment. So I've got to the point now where I think I have a plan with how I'm going to approach these. I'll just quickly mention it. It's not a sophisticated plan, but the one thing I did not like about these particular models was the yellow colour scheme. I don't like yellow, and I've had a bad past with trying to paint yellow models before. I always seem to have a problem with yellow paint. I never seem to get it right, and I never seem to be able to weather it properly. So that kind of put me off, and I decided I'd wait to do this model until I'd found an alternative scheme that I liked, and I think I found that now on YouTube. So this is another reason why I'm continuing this set of models now. And the other reason that I've been laying off is because the little modeling painting holder thing that I used to use, it didn't seem to help with my shaky hands for painting. But I came across this little item on YouTube, and I'll pop up a picture here of what it looks like when it's together. This arrived the other day, and what it is this little painting holder thing. It's got a nice grippy handle here, and it's a lovely texture, like a rubberized texture on here. Really non-slip, really good. It's got a nice bit of molding here to help me hold this. But here's the key, because of my wobbly hand, because when I'm painting freehand, this is when I start wobbling, and like I say, it's intermittent, it's completely random. It seems to be when I'm concentrating the most, or when I'm tired, or when I'm stressed or not feeling well, and then I really get a big wobble on with this hand. And of course, painting hand, trying to paint unsupported here, it really I've had some real bad mishaps with painting in the past with this, quite infuriatingly so. And this thing, once you put it together with this little wire device which clips on to the handle here, this is a painting support, and you rest your hand on this, I'll have to clip it in properly. It clips onto the handle here. So you've got your little model, which goes onto these little discs here, which then clip onto the holder here, and you can rotate these. But you've got this wire support here, which you can then rest your painting hand on, and it gives some sort of margin of support while you're doing detail painting, and that seemed absolutely ideal for me and my problems. So hopefully this will be a nice little gadget which will help me finally get down to painting these detailed orcs. So there we go, that's project number 2. And finally, the final little model I have scheduled for this month to do is another COBI brick kit. Now, I hadn't meant to buy any more of these at the moment because I've got several waiting in the wings in my stash, model stash here, but I happened to be doing some trawling on the web, and I came across this particular model at a heavy discount, and I just couldn't resist it then. Now, aside from the fact that it's part of the COBI's Vietnam War historic collection, which I've already got a couple of already, it happens to be of one of my favourite aircraft, the Northrop F5 Freedom Fighter. This is one of my favourite military aircraft. It's in my top 5, as a matter of fact, and I just loved it in this Vietnam era camouflage as well. So I grabbed it basically without even thinking about it. It's not as big a box as I thought it was going to be, and I actually looked around, and it looks as if it's not one of the more sophisticated COBI models. Phew, thank goodness, because the last one I did, the Polish fighter, was well, it wasn't a nightmare. It was just really complicated and made me sweat quite a bit making it. So this looked a little bit more straightforward. Obviously these are very easy for me to do, fits the issues I have with my hands very, very nicely, which is why I do these brick kits rather than doing traditional models, because I have a lot of problems with not only my dexterity, but I'm very, very clumsy these days. I've got very weak hands now for gripping things, and I drop things a lot. So having larger components in a model is actually very helpful for me, particularly when they're simple to clip together, which these are. Yeah, this suit should be quite a simple kit, very relaxing to put together, and I'm looking forward to it, and it'll make a nice display piece as well when I actually eventually get around to putting up some shelves in my man cave, and God knows when that'll be. So there we go, that's everything I've got planned for this month on the workbench. I hope there's something there that may be of interest to you. Take care, thanks for watching.